to see your thing.
My child is talking in the background.
It could be that or a baby crying.
True.
That's how I have to think about it.
Baby, but when the older one, I'm like, no. No. Okay, I think it says it is streaming.
When the older one, I'm
there
like,
we go.
no.
There we go. We are on.
There we go.
We made it. So hopefully, let me close this out because last time, right, we were echoing, correct?
Darn it, I cannot share it from your page. Okay.
I will be doing it, sharing it on the Facebook page as well. That will.
Okay.
Making sure that I'm not echoing. Because I was echoing one time. I will be doing it, sharing it on the Facebook page as well. That will. Okay. Making sure that I'm not echoing. Because I was echoing one time. Am I echoing?
No.
No, I think I am. Am I echoing, folks? Let me close out. Okay. I closed out all the Facebook ones because I think that's where I was having a problem before. Okay. So, Hey, Max. Hey. Sorry. Let me tell you, trying to figure this out to get from Zoom to Facebook. It was like, okay, but we're here. We are here with Miss Annette. Hello, Annette.
Hey, Sybil. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's Friday. What? I don't understand.
I am happy it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to dive straight in. I'm going to give a little bio of Annette, and then we're going to let Miss Annette talk to you lovely folks. If you have any questions or anything, I am watching to see if there's any comments, and I will relay those to Annette, unless are you looking at it from your Facebook screen?
I cannot see it from my
Okay. All right. So, Cindy said hello, Annette. She thought she was late, but no, girl, you was not late. I was over here trying to figure this out. So a little brief bio about Miss Annette here. Annette is an Army retired combat veteran, a mother of a college freshman and high school junior, and a military spouse of almost 22 years. Girl. She is the CEO of a wild ride called Life Blog and the host of the Truths We Hide Behind podcast. She has created both of these platforms due to a turn of events in her life that led to her PTSD, depression, and anxiety. She felt it was important to create a safe space to share her story along with others without judgment. She is a mental health advocate and helps others live with their mental illness instead of suffer from it. So we welcome you here, Miss Annette, and we are happy to have you here and to discuss these particular topics, because these can be kind of rough, can be hard for people. So I appreciate you for using your platform for that.
Hey, thank you.
So before we get into this, I want to ask you, because we're all facing COVID-19 right now. So just curious minds want to know, how are things going for you since this whole change?
So yesterday I went to Walmart and I was in the parking lot and I'm like, I'm so over this. I'm so over it with the mask and just the news, and it's just heartbreaking. So I'm, I really don't mind being at home and working. It's almost like it's peaceful because there's not the hustle and bustle outside of traffic and just all the stuff that was happening before. So I like the quiet, but I think I'm just I'm just over it. It's just too sad for me. I took my mom to the airport yesterday, and all I kept thinking was, oh my God, please make her be okay. Please.
Right.
Because she's been here for 2 months and she just wanted to get back, and we got her a mask. And a K95 mask or whatever. I was trying to find one that would help her because she's 70. But I'm just like, this is just crazy because I was like terrified. I'm so nervous, making sure she had everything she needed. And I'm tired of that. I'm
Right.
tired of being afraid of all of that because, even though we've been fortunate to not have that in our family, I'm reading Facebook posts about grandmothers being having to go to hospice because of the outbreak and this and this. And I'm like, oh my God, like I just can't imagine. So I'm over it, man.
Yeah, I think it's the worry, just, worrying about family and everything. Did your mom get home?
She did. She got home okay. So, they're going to just monitor her for the next couple of weeks and that's really it. And I just pray that, she didn't contract anything from the plane, even though everybody's, the airlines are trying to do their best. It's just, it's always that worry. So I'm tired of wearing the mask. I can't imagine her having to wear it for 5 hours. So I'm like, because I go to Walmart and I'm like, let's hurry up. I need to get out of here because I'm tired of wearing this thing. I'm like sweating.
Yes.
I hate it.
Yes. Yes, because for us, if we go to the grocery store, it's usually my husband that goes.
Yeah.
But there's sometimes I'll walk because where we live there, we can walk down to Food Line, and sometimes I'll walk down with him just to get out the house.
Yeah.
But he's like, okay, we're going in the store, so you have to wear a mask. I'm like, I avoid the big grocery trips, or we'll order online just to avoid the big grocery trips. But
yeah.
it's a lot of just worry. It's a lot of unknowns right now.
There is.
So I'm glad that mom got home and
thanks. Yeah.
She'll be okay. She'll be good. She'll be good.
Yeah.
So let's dive right on in. I'm gonna just dive straight into
just go right
question. Like that's how you just. It's like you don't know how to swim, but you want to swim, so you just jump in the deep end. You don't jump in where you touch. It's like we're just gonna go right into the full swim. So
I'm ready.
Let me ask you this: what was the turn that ignited you to decide to fully start a wild ride called life? Like what was that one thing or two things that totally ignited you?
So I retired early, and it just I felt like it destroyed me because I wanted to do the 20 years, and I got out at 17 years 4 months, and I did, and it's hard for me to say that sometimes because I didn't make the promotion list to lieutenant colonel, and I was devastated, and then I only had 6 months to get out. So I'm just mad at the world. I'm feeling sorry for myself. I'm blaming everybody else. I'm just pissed. And I couldn't let go of those feelings. And then everything that had happened to me from when I was a child all the way into the military, everything like just fell on me. And I went into this deep, dark depression. I felt like there was nothing to live for anymore. And, I've gone through those emotions before, but this one just like really hit hard because I felt like a failure. I didn't go to my retirement ceremony. I didn't want my kids to go. I was just embarrassed. I was pissed. So oh,
wait a minute. You did not go to your
no retirement ceremony. I didn't go. They handed me my box with my flag and said, thank you for your service. And I sat in the car and cried. And I went home and I was like, okay, shit, this is it. I'm done. I'm done. And I didn't know what to do. And I was on the floor crying in the middle of the night. And I called my friend from high school and I'm like, I can't do this. And she kept reminding me that, my kids needed me and there was so much more to live for and just all these things because I was done. And so the next day I got up and I was like, I have to do something or I'm not going to make it. and I started to write. And I started out with WordPress. I just didn't want anyone to know how I was feeling. It was just all secret. Then I started talking to some of my former soldiers that I was in command with, and they were telling me that when they transitioned out, it was really hard. It wasn't as easy as they thought. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not the only one. This just really sucks, and I am just not going to live. And so I came up with the name A Wild Ride Called Life. I don't know where it came from. It just came out of nowhere. And I was like,
okay, because I was about to say, well, where did that name come from, girl? But okay.
It came out of nowhere. And I was like, shit, that's it. It is a wild ride called life. That's it. I'm going to use it. And I'm in a veteran group, and there was my friend, she was one of my soldiers as well. She had used him to create her website. And I was like, I need his name. And I called Joe, and I was like, Joe, this is what I want to do. Please help me make it happen. And there it went, and I launched it, and I was scared as hell. I was like, everyone's going to find out that I'm suffering, because all these years I grew up not talking about anything. I grew up trying to be tough. I grew up in the military. I was just like, you can't, I did cry in the military, and I was mad about it, but everything was coming out. And so it was shared with the world, and that was it. It was just time.
It was time.
It was time. And so that's how that started.
Well, I am happy that it started, like, I don't know if that was the way that you initially thought it would start, but I'm glad that it got started, because your stories. So a little background, Annette and I met, but it's been almost a year now. It's been a year now, I think. We met at the Rosie Network for entrepreneurs. And I remember when you first were talking about what you were doing, it was like, because I think you were sitting
in the back.
And it's, like you turn and you're looking at people, right? And then I was like, I want to know more about her. I want to know her story. And you come home and you look the person up, and and it's like, oh wow, I was really intrigued by your story, and just watching you now, like, you're like, oh, you've just been awesome since day one. So I'm sure your story has reached and has blessed so many people. So keep it up, girl.
Thank you. Some days are, you always have that self-doubt of, am I sharing too much? And then I get feedback from my family, and they're like, okay, I mean, if this is what you want to do.
Right.
So
great. Now, how do you balance how much you share? Or do you just let loose? Because I mean, as someone online, you're in the public eye.
Yeah.
Right. Like that is just what it is. But do you sometimes fool yourself saying, wait a minute, let me hold this back a little bit, because for me as a blogger, and with doing Mamas and Coffee, there's sometimes that balance of how much, because there's still other people that, I have a family, and right. So like, oh, is this the time, or am I able to handle what may come back to me? So like, is there a balance? Because if there's someone else, and I ask this question because I know a lot of times we have people who watch our lives or our videos, and they're in that situation where they're like, what, I want to share to help other people, but they have that fear, and they don't know how to balance how much to share and all that good stuff.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. Just the other day. So I've been working on my book for like 4 years. Oh. And so I finally, within the past 6 weeks, I've finally gotten a prologue and chapter 1 and 2. And, I was talking to my husband, because there are things that happened to me as a kid that I had to dig up again. Like, I literally had to call the local police department, not here, but back home, and asking for my records so that I can unfortunately relive what had happened. But I wanted to put that in my book, and I was talking to my husband, and he was like, okay, so why'd you do that? It's been 35 years. And I told him, I said, there's just things that I feel like I need to let go, and I need to share to try to help other people, because I know that this happens to other people. But there are parts of the book that I have to protect my family, because for my husband's case, he's still in the military and he's senior ranking like yours. And there's just some things that I probably won't share to protect him and my kids, but there's going to be other stuff. So it is hard. It's very hard, because the more I talk to him, I'm like, oh God, okay, how am I going to do this? What names am I going to use instead of yours? Like, I'm going to have to change some names, and there's just so many things that I didn't think about until I started really digging into the book again, that stressed me out. But I want to do it. So it is hard. It's very hard to balance, because I want to do this, but I have to also, it's not just about me. I've got people to think about, and so it's hard. It can happen. It's absolutely possible, and I'm going to do it. So
okay.
It's just, I like right now, I'm like, it's tightening in my chest, like, oh my God, I'm nervous, but it's going to happen. So they know.
We want to know when it is published, right?
Absolutely. I'm already talking to a publisher next week. So I'm like, oh my God, this is going to happen. It's going to happen. And I'm scared, but you know what? It's time.
It's time.
So yeah.
Super excited about that. Now tell us what your podcast is about.
So it's almost the same thing happened with the podcast. So it originated about 4 years ago too, where and it was called A Wild Ride Called Life, and I did 4 episodes. I was like, I'm not feeling it. I'm like depressing myself. So I stopped. Okay. And I focused on the blog. And then this past October is when I said, no, this is it. And The Truths We Hide just came out of nowhere again. And I said, I'm doing it, and I'm doing it tomorrow.
So, wait a minute. What? Wait. What?
So I started with Podbean, and I did the intro piece. So I was like, okay, it's happening. And so it originally was going to be focused, I guess it's going to be focused around veterans. But then I had other people who wanted to come on that were military spouses, and then military children, and then regular everyday people. And so then I just branched out, and I said, okay, it's not military anymore. There's anybody off the street is going through something that we don't know about. And so that's what happened. I have guests on that are not military affiliated whatsoever, but they have a story to tell, and I've given them the platform to do it. And so now I just released episode 30, and I'm like, holy shit.
Girl, whoa, wait a minute. Episode 30.
I did. I just aired episode 30, and I'm like, what?
Look, you don't be messing around. I need to go pour this water out and go get me some alcohol.
Right.
And be like, what? You are not messing around.
I'm not, because you know what, the guests that are on, I've literally cried on some of these, especially this last one, episode 30. I cried in it, because this man, he created this foundation after his son committed suicide. And so you hear these stories, and you're just like, God dang, I really need to remember to appreciate the little things in life. And they're just so heart-wrenching and heartwarming. And the fact that they reached out to me because they want to share it, even though I don't have 1 million followers, I'm just this big, but I'm always so honored that they want to share on my platform. So I have to keep going, because I feel like I'm helping them get out there. And so you know, like I said, I'm not famous. I don't have all these followers. I'm still using this little microphone from Amazon. I just, I'm just trying to do what I can right here from my room.
Right, right. But you know what you are doing, and I think a lot of times we feel like you know, we're just this person, we're just this one person, because like we put that word just
Right.
in front of things that we do a lot. I'm just this person doing this little thing, but even if it's just one, and like I just put the word just, even if it's one or two people you reach, that one or two people, you may have completely changed their lives.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's something that within this space we have to remember, and especially in what you are doing, because it takes a lot of courage to do what you are doing with sharing about PTSD and anxiety and depression and talking to others, you know, because a lot of times when we forget that when we are talking to people about whatever's going on in their lives, right? Like we often take on that too.
Yeah. Right.
And I always admire people that can really do that. And because it's like, oh, I don't know, like that's a lot. That's a lot. So I admire all the work that you do. Like I told you that first day in class, I was like, oh, is that true?
Well, I thank you, because it was you guys that helped me realize that I was not just a blogger, that there was more. I just needed to find it. And that was hard, because I walked in going, I'm just a blogger. And so I had to find that thing that was like, no, you could do more with it. You just need to find it, and it'll come. It will come. It's just I was looking too hard. So it's
It's here. It's here.
Yeah.
So you have a wild ride called Life, and the podcast that is, I want to make sure I say the name right, The Truths We Hide.
Yes.
And with The Truths You Hide, you bring anyone on.
Yes.
Interview that wants to share their story. Okay. All right. So let me ask you this question. What advice do you have for others who are out there that may be facing PTSD, depression, and or anxiety, that have not yet reached out for help, or they're struggling with realizing, you know, because sometimes I think I can tell you, for myself, like I faced, when I had one of my daughters, I had postpartum depression. A little different than
still
depression, but it was postpartum depression.
Yeah.
And I remember that was a stigma. Like any type of need of having to go have help, it was a stigma. So I know that there's people out there who face that every single day, from families or from friends. But what would be your piece of advice of helping those people?
I think the one thing I learned was not to be so hard on myself, because I blame myself for a lot, and I was so hard on myself. And that's why I think I just got really deep into that dark hole. And the one mantra that I heard almost 2 years ago was that it's okay to not be okay. So I had to remember that. Yesterday I didn't do a darn thing, and it was okay. And today I'm at it. And so I had to remember that, and I had to surround myself by positive people, because I had toxic relationships to where, they weren't really helping me. They were kind of bringing me down. And so I had to remember, I'm too old for this shit. I need to be around positive people that are going to lift me up. And so I found that tribe, moving here. And I think just with the military folks, I think we all have our military families all over the world. So I had to remember that there are people out there that are willing to listen. I just needed to open up. I had to say something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where you find who your true friends are. And so I had to remember, okay, I lost that one friend. Oh, well, it sucks and it hurt, but I have this one who's like family, who is there for me no matter what. And so I had to remember to stick with that tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard when you are in that depression. I mean, I had postpartum depression too. I didn't even know what it was 20 years ago. So it was like, oh my God. And I just had to continue going to work. So I never dealt with it. But I think we just have to remember we have people out there. We just need to be willing to ask for the help.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hardest thing.
So I'm sorry. I do not have the notifications turned off on my husband's computer. And all of he has his text messages and everything comes.
They're all coming in.
They're all coming in, and I'm like, what is going on? I'm sorry. It's been doing it the entire time, and I was like trying to ignore it, but now they're like ding ding coming. I'm like, stop. Sorry.
No.
Sorry. So yeah, so finding your tribe and being okay with
with
you
not
have
being
to
okay.
let people go and reaching out, saying, hey, I need help.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you would like to share with us? Because you we could talk all day.
I know.
We at the 30-minute mark. Look, because I have so much more I want to ask you, but I also know I want the viewers to be able to come get their answers from you, because she shares like she is an open book. If you ask her questions, she shares it on her blog and on her. I'm just saying you do, and I love it. So, I'll just say it. Sometimes it's hard. It's hard balancing how much you share here and how much you keep in. I'll just say it because I've been there. You be like, well, I don't want to share everything. I want you to want to come over and see what I'm talking about. And Max, let me tell you, Max, you need to go over there and see what else she's talking about. And then also on top of that, we can talk. I remember we went to breakfast.
We were there for like 3 hours.
He said, we're only going to be here for an hour. I think we said an hour. I think because I set the phone timer. And
Nope.
Nope. We were there forever. But is there anything else that you would like to share with Max or anyone else who is watching? Because Max, if you are watching this live, this will also be going on the other social media outlets. I'm trying something new. Usually it's just I have the live, but I'm like, I want to try and record it and share it other places. And
yeah.
So Annette is the first person. Like, thank you for being brave. Actually, I didn't tell you that till we were trying to get on.
Yeah. It's okay.
Don't want to run your way. You're like, Sybil does not know what she doing. She don't know what she doing. Oh Lord. But is there anything else you would like to share with us about yourself, about any projects you have coming up, anything?
I mentioned the book before in the podcast, but I think the other thing that I really, what helps me with the self-healing journey that I was on, and I try to tell other people, your mess is your message. So it's very hard to think positively when we're going through shit. But I think now I've started to realize, and I don't go to church like I'm supposed to, but I do believe, and I know he has saved me more than once. And so I really believe that everything that has happened is now my message to help other people. And so, and I'm not perfect whatsoever, but I think that's what's helped me. It's okay to not be okay, and your mess is your message. So I think as long as we can try to look at it as a learning experience to help other people, then it's helped me. So I try to help other people by telling them that.
Love that. No, I love that. I love
Thanks.
that is so true. That is so true. Our mess is our mess. That is so true. And we all have a mess. Like,
Good. There's something. Yeah.
yeah, there's, I mean,
It's now we just have to figure out what to do with that mess.
exactly. And I a firm believer that we all have a story to
Mhm.
share, and it's when is that time, you know, your time, and you said about church, I'm right there with you. But I also feel that God has placed so many people and has placed really everyone on this earth to have a purpose.
Right.
It's determining what your purpose is. And I think with our stories that we have, things that we've gone through, our mess that we've gone through in life is our stories to share. And for some, that's just a story with their family or
Right.
their friend or with the stranger in the grocery store. For others, it's taking it to a broader platform, you know,
Absolutely.
like you. So I appreciate everything that you do, and behind the scenes here cheering you on, like, you go girl, you go, little pom-pom, like, yeah. So before we go, tell the folks where they can find you. I'll add this in the thingy too, in the thingy.
The show notes.
You know, girl, you know.
I know. You can find all my links if you go straight to my website, awildridecalledlife.com.
A wild ride, and it is no funky spelling. It's spelled the correct way.
Yes, all one word.
Because I mean, nowadays you got to check, like,
oh yeah,
why in life, or is it so?
Exactly.
So a wild ride called life.com.
Yes,
where you can find, and it's all of your links.
Yes,
all your socials. So head over there, follow her on social. Y'all do it. Don't do it now. Don't wait. Don't. Because y'all be like, I'll do it tomorrow.
I know, right?
Don't do it today. You ain't doing nothing else. Just go ahead. You can't go anywhere. So like,
right.
and check out her podcast. Go through. She has 30 episodes, so you can binge on the truth. Like I'm telling you, you can binge behind the Truth We Hide podcast. That's what you can do this weekend. Now y'all got something to do this weekend.
Yes, and just let me know what you think of it. I mean, I've heard a lot of feedback, so I'm open to anything.
Yeah, so let them know. If you guys have any questions, and if you're watching here on the live at Mamas and Coffee, let me check real quick to make sure there's no questions. Look, girl, we doing good with time. Lord, yes. Oh, we do have some comments. Hold up, girlfriend. Cindy said, so she said that she hopes that your mom, or she's glad your mom got home.
Thank you.
You can relate when others are struggling big time and you've come a long way. She asked if you can come on again.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yes. And then Jules said, your mess is your message. She said, I love that. And Cindy said that she will be checking out the site and podcast. So, so we have a request for you to come back again. So we can come back in. You gonna come back, girl?
Of course.
Okay.
I'll be honored.
God. We'll dig it. Look, we'll dig in.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll be like, I won't be afraid to really ask you some questions.
Okay,
Girl, let's talk about episode number 200, because you're gonna have 200 episodes by August. So let's dig into episode number 200 here. Tell me about this. All right.
Oh my God.
It's a wild ride called life, okay? So
Absolutely. Oh my God.
All right. Well, thank you so very much, Annette.
Thank
And
you.
we will see you again because we have a request. So
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
All righty.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh. Okay. So now how do I, there we go.